Hi everyone, it's Nicole. I am back for another plan with me. Today we'll be planning for the week of Monday, June 26th through Sunday, July 2nd. I cannot believe half of the year is already over. Soon enough, we'll be pulling out our Thanksgiving and Christmas kits, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait for that. But I won't rush things. We are only in our first full week of summer, so I chose a summer-themed kit. This is by Creating & Co. This is her peach tea kit. I thought it was beautiful. I only received this past Monday. I'm planning this now on Thursday, and I usually don't put kits down right away, but I thought it was nice to mark the first full week of summer. I purchased this kit a la carte, so I bought 5 pages. I'm not sure how many were available, but I skipped out on the full ombre heart checklists and things like that. So I'm working with what I got. I am going to pull in some stickers here for the sidebar because I didn't get the functional sheet with the sidebar stickers. So it took a little bit of digging because this is like one of the first kits that I've used that didn't have any like pink in it. It's very blue and peach and green focused, so it was a little bit of a challenge. So here I am just starting off with my sidebar. I did decide to let June peek through, and then that quote box says, "Life needs more sweet tea and sunshine," which I thought was nice. I really liked the text of the quote box. And then I'm going in with my habit tracker, and then that yellow ombre checklist is from a Nicole Alexia design kit leftover, and then that green one is from a leftover from a PlanningRoses kit. It's not a perfect match, but I thought they worked well enough for at least the sidebar. Next, I'm going in and just scattering my full boxes around the spread. I did want to keep the fence scene together though, so instead of putting it on the weekend, I put it on Wednesday and Thursday. I like dividing the full boxes up that way. I don't usually put 2 boxes next to each other, but because it was on either side of the week, I thought it looked nice. And then, yeah, I'm just scattering the full boxes around the rest of the week. I did choose the kind of like party-themed full box for Sunday because I am going to be attending a barbecue. Anyway, moving on to the day-to-day, I did start off Monday with a to-do header, and I originally put a scalloped box with a Planning World foiled icon, but I ended up removing that and putting that below a heart checklist that I cut up in just a second. This week I chose to color block. No particular rhyme or reason for it. I don't normally color block, but this week I decided to, so I used all the same color headers for each section of the day when needed. So here I start off with a 3-heart checklist, and then that scallop box with the icon is to mark a conference call that I had to get on. And then I put down a today header. My boss was out of town for the week, so I did want to mark that. So to do that, I pulled in a foiled arrow sticker from my newest addiction. And then Monday was pretty low-key, so I started planning the rest of my night. I put down a little plate and fork and spoon to mark my dinner. My family and I had tacos, which were delicious. And then I cut up a piece of washi and made a flag out of it, and then layered balloons over top of that came with the kit. I met my new neighbors from across the street. I met the woman and her son. They were very, very sweet, so that was a nice little event that occurred, so I did want to mark that. And then finally at the end of the night, I did do a face mask. It had been so long since I've done a face mask, so to mark that, I used a HelloPetitePaper little relaxation girl. The first thing I had to do on Tuesday morning was send an email. So I took this little owl icon with the laptop that actually came with the kit, and I used that to mark the email that I had to send. And then I had 2 conference calls in the middle of the day, so I used a half box to mark that and pulled in another Planning World cell phone icon. I had a couple random to-dos, so instead of using a heart checklist or anything like that, I took a couple of little things. I had to do some organizing. So to mark that, I took an asterisk little thing, and then I took another little thing in the teal color and layered a clipboard and pencil over that. I had to create a spreadsheet. That clipboard is from PiperPaper Company, and then towards the end of the night, my fiance and I had to fix our closet. Our closet rod had fell down. I think we had too many clothes on it, so we spent the night fixing that. So to mark that, I put the scallop box and the don't forget sticker layered over top of that. That don't forget sticker did come with the kit. Moving on to Wednesday, I started off with another heart checklist, which I cut down, and I used the blue to-do header, and then in the to-do section, I put down a half box, and then I just sprinkled it with some deco. I had to run some numbers for the end of the month, which took up most of my day, so I did use a half box, and then I just put an odds and ends header over the full box, and then moving on to the end of the day, I put down a today header, and I put down a little thing and layered the owl icon that came with the kit that looked like it was sleeping. It had a little sleepy mask on, and it had a little cloud bubble that had Z's in it. I did take a nap after I got home from work, and then I did have to make a hair appointment because I think it's been like over a year since I've gotten my hair cut, and the girl that cuts my hair is almost about to pop. She's having a baby, so I need to get in before she goes out on maternity leave. And then finally at the end of the night, I did go to a yoga class. So those yoga mat stickers are from PlanningRoses. For Thursday, I started off with a blue today header, and then I put down a patterned half box, and I did layer another one of those Planning World gold foiled icon cell phones. I did have 2 conference calls that day, so I used that half box to mark those. Then I had something scheduled to be picked up by freight, so I put down an appointment label from ShopJessicaHearts right underneath that, and then I just finalized putting down my headers, and then underneath the to-do section, I put down another one of those scalloped stickers with a little asterisk icon that came with the kit to mark something that I had to send out to one of my coworkers. And then when I got home that day, I did film the first half of this plan with me, so I put down a Clever Gal Crafts foiled flag, and then I layered a Let's Make It Sparkle film slate sticker, which I really love. And then Marvin and I started the most recent season of House of Cards, so I used a little thing to mark that. And then moving on to Friday, I cut down another heart checklist. I did start off with the green headers, but I do replace them to orange off camera. So I just put down a few to-dos, and then I cut up another strip of washi into a longer flag and layered the little laundry sticker that came with it over top of that. And then underneath the today section, I put down a little thing. I used that to mark that I had to do the voiceover and edit the first part of this video. And then underneath that, I put a half box, and I layered over top of that a piece of deco that came with the kit. It was a drink in a mason jar with a couple of straws. Really, really cute. So I used that to mark that Marvin and I tried a new outdoor section of one of our favorite restaurants. It was delicious. And then on the full box, I put down a Clean the Blender sticker. That's from PlanningRoses. It was definitely time for my beauty blender to have a bath. I left some space on Friday, so I used a little thing to fill it, and I used that to mark that the recycling had to go out. And then moving on to the weekend, I did start off with the weekend banner, and on Saturday, I started off with a to-do header. I put down the car icon that came with the kit. I still had crap from when my family and I had moved in my car, so that definitely had to come out. And then when I came home, I just caught up on some laundry, so I put the washing machine sticker that came with the kit. And then for the rest of the day, Marvin and I were so lazy, so I took a piece of washi and cut it down to a flag. I've seen Mandy Dreams do this to mark something that takes a long time. So I put a half box down and the binge watch sticker that came with the kit because we pretty much just watched most of the House of Cards season. And then finally on Sunday, I put down a piece of washi and then put down the little mascot from Creating & Co.'s shop. His name is actually Oscar, and he is holding a grocery bag. I had to just stop at the liquor store for the barbecue that Marvin and I were going to later. Then I put down the Power Hour sticker. I did some cleaning when I got back. And finally, I did put down a half box vertically and layered it with some deco to mark the barbecue that Marvin and I were attending that day. And then I'm just finishing up the spread here by sprinkling some deco up at the top. The kit did come with date covers, but I hadn't done this in a while, and the kit came with plenty of deco, so I did want to sprinkle that around. And that pretty much wrapped up my week. I really enjoyed using this kit. It was so bright and fun, and I love the peaches. They're just so cute. All the deco was really adorable. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye guys.